Hello, Oracles. Lots to talk about today. So, Tesla down a little bit. We had some scares. We've got OPEC threatening to cut oil production. This is kind of leading the market to be in fear that inflation might come back again. That kind of scared the entire market today. But we've got some good news. We've got Austin's production lines have been shut down for upgrades on both the Model Y and the Cybertruck lines. This may be spewed somewhere in the media as a negative thing. This is very positive. We just saw the same thing happen over in China. That's what brought us the Model 3 Highland. Now we are seeing the same things with the Model Y. We're not getting an upgrade on the Model Y, but they are going to make things more efficient. Upgrades always turn out to make production go more efficiently, and they can produce more. And with the Cybertruck line being down, that tells me that they're coming online and the Cybertruck event is imminent. We should be hearing about it any day now. So we'll get into more details in just a minute. All right, so looking at the charts here, kind of looks like we're starting to consolidate. Again, yesterday was a good green candle day where we came up and we were keeping in this upward trend. We still maintained that upward trend today, even though it was a red day, down 1.78%. We are now looking like a consolidation phase right now. Next week, we have the CPI and the PPI data coming in. The week after that, we have the FOMC meeting. So between those two could be a little uncertainty, but realistically, most of the macro information we have gotten is looking positive. The news about the oil production cuts kind of puts a little scare in it, but realistically shouldn't have too much effect on what the Fed's decision is going to be. Again, I think we're going to see a pause continue here in September, and then they did hint at maybe a hike in November. Does not make sense to me at this point, unless for some reason oil goes up, but that is out of the Fed's control, so truly do not know what's going to play out here. However, looking at the current stock price, consolidating, no concern here, and we stayed closed above 250. So going over to the production shutdown, Jeff Roberts posted out, production halted at Giga Texas while general assembly lines for both Model Y and Cybertruck are upgraded and optimized. All hands on deck inside the factory. So again, this is a good thing. Every time we hear about these, the market seems to freak out, but Elon already told us that this was going to be happening in Q3. We knew Shanghai was going down. Sure enough, it did. We got the Model 3 Highland. Now we're seeing Austin going down. And again, this is normal. This is what Elon already told us. So this is already calculated into what they were planning on doing. If you remember last year in August, when Shanghai was brought down for the same upgrades, that's where they increased production significantly coming out of those upgrades. This could be something very similar. And Peggy posted the other day saying that we should be hearing about 6,000 vehicles in production per week any day now. Chances are with this upgrade, we are going to be hearing that. Now, some other interesting news. Holmar's catalog posts out, here's how a UAW strike against the Detroit 3 could play out. And the article headline here is, the UAW has warned it could strike all 3 Detroit automakers at once, but it also could target key production sites to avoid burning through its $825 million strike fund. So the article, you have to pay to subscribe to this, but just looking at how this is going to play out potentially for Tesla, it's a win-win. Because here's what ends up happening. If the UAW strikes, all 3 of these, production goes down. Now none of the legacy automotive makers are going to be able to make production. That is obviously going to hamper sales significantly. If they can't produce, they can't sell. Now, if they do end up settling a deal with the UAW, that's going to be extremely expensive for all 3 of them as well. They really are in a lose-lose situation. So again, I'm not opposed to unions, but sometimes when it comes to unions, stuff like this happens, and it's going to be very detrimental to these companies. Tesla is not unionized. They actually, despite all the words and rumors that are out there, do pay their workers better than these unionized workers. So working for Tesla is the place people want to be. They don't have to worry about going on strike. And not only that, usually what ends up happening after a strike like this, if these companies do end up having to pay out through the union, they usually cut jobs afterwards because their budget is now thinner. So they have to cut jobs somewhere along the way to cut expenses. That does end up happening. So it's really not a good situation for any of them over there. And Tesla obviously is going to continue with their production, obviously, other than Giga Texas being down for their upgrades, but they will be able to just take even more market share away from all of these companies as they are going through all of this. And then when it comes to the financials on the other side, their financials aren't going to be looking as good when it comes to legacy auto. Meanwhile, Tesla can continue growing as they are. So this could be very interesting to see how it plays out. Now, when it comes to a full market-wide viewpoint from this, it may actually impact Tesla stock in a negative manner because the entire automotive market may end up pulling down in that sector. So, when it comes to the stock price, again, that's all near-term stuff. I'm not too concerned about it. If it pulls down for those reasons, I would be buying that dip personally. But I truly don't know how it's going to play out. Either way, in the long run, this is going to give Tesla even more of an opportunity to grow their market share within the US. And I think this is going to do very well for them. So we'll see how this all plays out. And you can let me know in the comments below. Maybe some of you do work for Legacy Auto and you have some sort of information about it. So if you do, please let us know. Another interesting note coming out from Tesla Chan, Tesla is also unrivaled in the charger business. They've already released Superchargers more than a decade ago, and they've distributed so many that no one can keep up with them. Tesla has 21,000 Superchargers in the US, even continuing to be installed at high speed. Another thing to remember is that Tesla will integrate all Las Vegas with the charging specs NACS. That is the North American charging standard. And so if we take a look at the chart here, it's obvious, the top 10 US DC fast charging networks all time. I mean, Tesla has 63% of the market, and we already know that a lot of the other ones that are out there just are not anywhere close to the quality of the Supercharger. I've heard a lot of complaints about Electrify America, so that is the second biggest at only 11%, but if they're not that good, people aren't going to use them. And so if everybody is switching over to the NACS anyway, Tesla Superchargers are going to be even more dominant. Now, my next thought on this is take a look at this pie chart, because this could be very similar to what we see when it comes to FSD on the roads. Now, I don't know if anyone else out there is going to have any sort of functional FSD or autonomy out there that can actually be driven everywhere, not being geo-fenced. But if we're looking, maybe some other companies do come out with them, this pie chart could be what 2030 looks like, where Tesla has 63% of the autonomous network in the country, and all of these other little companies have very tiny slivers. And I did want to share this out with you guys one last time. This is the YieldMax dates. You guys can go ahead and screenshot this if you want. So this here is going to be the dates you are going to be getting all of the information for these YieldMax ETFs. Tomorrow is the declaration date for this month. So we will get the payout amounts tomorrow for all of these YieldMax ETFs, and then the X date is on Friday. So tomorrow will be your last opportunity to purchase before the X date. And then we will also have the payment date coming out on September 18th. So again, these YieldMax ETFs are really for income only. You're not going to be getting growth out of these. This is if you just want straight income coming in and cash flow, that's it. Tesla stock itself, when it is going up, will outperform TSLY all the time. This has been proven. Brad Ferguson went over it. So if you're in this for the long haul and you want to have Tesla stock be your main portfolio, go with that. You are going to get much better gains out of that. If you are looking for cash flow, TSLY is the place you would want to put your money. TSLY is still very risky. The payouts can be very volatile. They have ranged already from anywhere from 44 cents up to $1.06 per share. It's all over the place, so it's not going to be a steady stream of income. I am predicting between 50 and 60 cents per share tomorrow when we get the announcement. We will see how close I am, but I am going to be working on trying to figure out some sort of formula so I can start predicting what we think the payouts will be as we go forward. And some other news, Sawyer Merritt posts out news. Indonesia doesn't expect Tesla to invest in the country anytime soon after Coordinating Minister Luhut Panjaitan met with Elon Musk last month. Now, of course, we do know that, I was thinking Indonesia was going to be the next place. Some people thought that South Korea was going to be the place. We've now seen South Korea's sales in Teslas not doing so well as compared to other areas of the world. Kind of strange considering how strong South Korea was pushing for Tesla to go in there. So I don't know if maybe they had a change of heart. Really not sure. Maybe because Elon is not speaking with them or going to be investing elsewhere. Maybe they decided that they're not going to push it as hard. We shall see. Indonesia does seem the same way. Sounds like, based upon what Elon has told us, Now that India is on board, sounds like that was the place he wanted to go anyway. That is going to be their focus for the next Asia Pacific factory. So we'll most likely see a lot of efforts going into India within the next year. And then Indonesia, I think will end up getting something down the road. But as of right now, does not sound like it is going to be anything anytime soon. So overall today, I'm not concerned about the little bit of a dip in the stock price. I added more to my TSLY position, added my normal daily amount at TSLA as well. Tomorrow, I'm excited to see what we are going to be getting for some payouts from all of these YieldMax ETFs. I will not be having a video for the next couple of nights. Tomorrow, I get my son, and then he has a soccer game on Friday evening, so no live stream Friday evening. But I will be on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time with Darth Dividends to discuss everything having to do with dividends. So again, he's one of the ones who kind of got me onto this snowball dividend play thing that I'm doing here. So we're going to talk about what he has for dividends, what I have, pick his brain on it. You guys can ask all the questions you want. We will give you guys all the answers we can on it. Again, none of it's financial advice, but it's what we're doing, and we'll share our wisdom with you. So feel free to join us on then. I will be putting that link out in the next couple of days. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. Have a great one.